Hi, so something I wanted to just talk about, this is a little bit different to what I would normally cover on this channel, is some GPTs that I've created via Chat GPT. Now, if you want any of access to any of these GPTs, you can find them in the description. I might put them in a pinned comment as well if I remember. Um, but you've got the GPT store coming very soon. And so I just wanted to share some of the ones that I've created. And this one, so the one I'm going to mainly focus on here, will be my video content creation GPT. But I'm going to take you through two more GPTs prior to that if you want to just jump straight to the video content creation one specifically. There'll be timestamps that you can use and chapters you can use in the description. But what I wanted to do was just take you through three that I think can work well together, depending on your stage of doing something like YouTube. So the idea of the video content creation GPT is that it was created initially for myself. So I had been using various prompts that I would have on ChatGPT and then have to enter in things beneath that prompt, that key prompt. And as time went on, they eventually let you create your own GPTs. And so I put all of my prompts into the GPT that I was creating with the idea that YouTube and doing content creation can be a very lonely kind of job. I do everything on my own. I've got multiple channels, large channels down to channels like this one, which is significantly smaller. I create content like eCourses, things like that. But I have to do it all on my own. I don't have a team of people. I don't have anyone to bounce ideas off of, really. And so what I wanted was to be able to use something that can be a bit of a sounding board, almost like having a second person working with me. And so that's what I use the GPT for. So what I'm going to do is take you through these three here in this video. One is a prompt master GPT, where the idea of it is that it takes on the role of being an expert in crafting prompts for AI, like, for example, ChatGPT. So the idea is that you'll have an idea of what you want to convey, what you want to actually have the GPT doing, but you may not know exactly how best to word that. And so I'm going to give you a brief example of that one. I'm going to then give you a brief example of the business development coach, which, again, so the reason I'm taking you through these in this order is that if you were, say, new to doing something like YouTube or whatever it happens to be, you're thinking of setting up a channel, you may want to use the prompt master to be able to help you to develop the prompt in the first place. You may then want to flesh out an idea for a business, so not just the YouTube part, for example, but a broader business. And then you'll move into perhaps using the video content creation creator coach. So most of my focus is going to be on the video content creator coach, but I just wanted to touch on the other two. All of these will be in the description, but I wanted to touch on the other two because it could well be that you're starting at the beginning, and so you want something to help you from the beginning. So let me crack on. So with the prompt master, the idea is that it helps to develop the most effective prompt for your needs. And you can keep working through the process until you're happy with the prompt, and then just copy that prompt and place that prompt into whatever your, so ChatGPT or one of the GPTs that you find in the GPT store. So say, for example, you're thinking, right, so I want to come up with a prompt for trying to develop, let's think of something to do with my main YouTube channel. So I'm trying to come up with some ideas for new stories or something. So please can you help me to develop a prompt to ask ChatGPT to help me come up with new video ideas. So you would type in your prompt and give it a moment to think. And so the idea is it will try to ask you questions that will inform a better prompt. So what's the main topic or theme of the videos you're looking to create? I hope to create, or I create sleep stories and would like to have some ideas for future sleep stories. The target audience is mainly female between 35 and 44, based in the USA. The video style is me telling a story in a calm and relaxing voice. The usual length of the stories is about 45 to 60 minutes long. The stories must be relaxing with no conflict and encouraging inner focus and relaxation and curiosity. So the idea, I'm not going to go through this too much, but I just want to give you a taste of how this works. So the idea is that you then answer the questions and it'll iterate a prompt, something that hopefully would work better. And then, as you can see, it'll offer you some suggestions and it can ask you further questions. So the idea is that you can keep going through this and keep refining the prompt until you get to something that you're happy with. So sometimes it could be that straight away, so I'm going to scroll back. So it could be that straight away you're happy with just, you've answered the questions, you're happy with the questions you've answered, you're then happy with the prompt. So create a list of sleep stories, sleep story ideas tailored for females aged 35 to 44, based in the USA. The story should be designed for a 45 to 60-minute narrative told in a calm and relaxing voice. Each story must be soothing, devoid of conflict, and should foster inner focus, relaxation, and curiosity. The content should be engaging and suitable for promoting a peaceful and restful mindset before sleep. So then it offers you some additional suggestions. So one thing that you could do is copy the prompt and the suggestions, just fresh straight from here, and then post that. So given that I know my channel, I know that if I did that, then it would come up with ideas focusing on nature and landscapes and wildlife and things like that, and magical realism, all things I actually use in all my stories. So I could just copy the whole lot, or I could incorporate that, talking about the suggestions, saying yes, I'd quite like it to incorporate these things, and then name different bits that I like, ignore the bits I don't like, and then it would rewrite the prompt again. It would obviously thank me, rewrite the prompt again. Now, so it's incorporated the extra bits that I want. And I can also answer the questions. So it will come up with sort of questions that it thinks maybe I need it to answer to help it to do better. So do I have any specific preferences regarding cultural or geographical settings of the stories? So I would probably say something along the lines of stories being around nature is good, especially forests and woodland settings. Would you like the stories to have any recurring characters or themes? So for me, most of my stories are standalone, but occasionally I might do one with a recurring character or theme. And are there any specific relaxation techniques that I might want incorporated? So again, I do two types of storytelling generally. A type where I just tell the story and there may be some process mixed in, but not necessarily. And then I do something that I term a magical sleep story, where I specifically include two relaxation techniques. At some point nearish to the beginning of the story, so maybe 10-15 minutes in, I'll have a relaxation process where it's like a full body relaxation. So I might have, I'll tell the story so that the person's being guided through a first person experience, and I'll then say, and you perhaps decide that you're going to stop for a rest, you lie down and you close your eyes, and then I might talk through a progressive relaxation process, and then follow that up with, say, the person having a reverie and drifting in and having a bit of a daydream. And then later in the story, normally really reasonably close to the end, maybe 40 minutes in, 50 minutes in, I'll have the person do some kind of a countdown or staircase relaxation process where maybe they are in a position where they descend some steps, say in a tree, or they descend steps in a building, or descend steps into some ruins, or whatever it happens to be. Or maybe they just count down for some reason. So I'll find some excuse to have that kind of process integrated into the story. So because I do that, this is a really good question for the prompt master to ask me, because actually I do that, and I know I do that. And so I probably would say, if I was making one of those stories, yes, somewhere near the beginning I want this type of technique, somewhere towards the end I want that type of technique, and then it would adjust the prompt accordingly. So in relation to, for example, using this for YouTube, you can do this like I've done here, so that I can get a better prompt that I can then input into ChatGPT, or say in this case into the video content creator, to get a better result than me just trying to come up with the prompt myself. So this kind of prompts you to help it create a better prompt for you. So I don't want to spend too much time on this though, because that's not really the meat of what we're here for. So then you move on to the business development coach. So say with this, you maybe you are doing YouTube, maybe you want to start YouTube, maybe you're just a content creator doing other bits and pieces, blogging, whatever it happens to be. You want to look at different ways of perhaps expanding on what you're doing. So, for example, I create eCourses. I also post stuff on YouTube, and on this channel specifically, I'll post stuff to do with hypnotherapy, mental health, autism, things that are designed predominantly for an audience of professionals, therapists, coaches, counsellors, that kind of people, who are also often people who want to become content creators to raise awareness of their business. So let's say I'm a hypnotherapist and would like to expand my if I can spell, business into doing YouTube and creating e-courses to help generate additional revenue streams and awareness of myself so that I can also gain more clients and business opportunities. I'm trying to speak and type at the same time. Please can you assist me with this? So one thing that I just do, because it's just me, is I try to be polite to ChatGPT and try to treat it just as if I was talking to someone else. So what I've done with this business development coach is kind of programmed it, or given it training to try to help it to do this kind of role as a business development coach. So again, I'm not going to spend ages on this because the main thing I want to focus on is the video content creator. But we'll just see what this comes up with. So this is obviously just, the idea would be that you treat it like a coach. The same with the prompt master. You treat it like a coach. You treat it as if you've genuinely, gone into a coaching session with a real human coach. So you don't just want a quick fix. You literally want to take time to go through and have a two-way engagement. So I'm just doing this very, very quickly to show you what happens with this and how it kind of works. But in reality, you would go into this and have a proper two-way engagement. You'd read everything it says, you'd respond to what it says, it would respond to you, you'd respond back to it, and you'd have that back and forth over an extended period of time, maybe taking a good hour or 2 hours, just having engagement and maybe copying off to a notepad anything. So everything obviously is going to be saved on your ChatGPT account, but what I would often do is copy off the key points that are like, oh yeah, that's something I want to remember, or as if you were taking notes in a coaching session. So I would take those notes separately. So although I can refer back to this, that's what I would probably want to look at, is just my notes initially. So fantastic idea. Firstly, identify what sets you apart in the hypnotherapy space. Is it your approach, your experience, specific techniques, or success stories? So that obviously is encouraging me to try to explore those bits. So I would write in my response back what I think my unique areas are. I might, so if I think, oh, I don't know, I don't think there's anything particularly unique about me, what I can do, and what I have done in the past sometimes, is just said, I don't know if there's anything specifically unique about me. I think I'm just average. Here, I'll describe myself, and then I'll describe, here's my training, here's my background, here's the years that I've done this, here's the things that I'm best at helping people with. Whatever I can give, I'll just write a very full description. And I might say, so given that this says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, I'd probably say, I'm just going to answer question 1 now, and we'll come back to the others in a little bit. I want to explore that further. And so then I would explore that bit further first. And so I might say, write 1,000 word or however many it lets me do for quite a large bit of post, saying, here's about me, and could you help me to find what you think could be an angle I could take to have my kind of USP. And so then it would help you and it would work with you based on the information you've put in. So start with content that addresses common misconceptions. So this is just ideas that I could do. obviously about consistency and branding. So all of these I would then go into exploring probably as individual posts rather than trying to respond to everything all in one post. I would say, right, okay, let's take number one first and explore that. Right, now we've done that, let's take number two and we'll look at a YouTube strategy. If there's bits that I think, oh, I don't know if I'd know how to do that or something, then I can go into more detail with it and I can share that I don't know how to do something, or where would I be able to learn how to do something. So if it was, say, learning about, I don't know, what colours go with what other colours, so colour theory or whatever, I might say I don't really know about graphic design, colour theory, how to structure or lay out thumbnails, whatever it happens to be. So I could ask it, sort of sail that and say, so, could you help me with that and point me in the right direction? Creating e-courses, again, this is all because I said these are the things that I want to do. So I've actually said I want to do quite a lot all in one go. So I then might explore the e-courses, explore, okay, so I've got an idea of the structure. I may then follow that further and say, is it better to do, say, workshops, online workshops, for example, like a 90-minute workshop and 90-minute e-courses, or is it better to all as one video, or is it better to break something up and have individual lessons? So I kind of explore that. It obviously talks about different platforms. I use some of these already. Marketing, so we could explore marketing in more detail. So what I would do is take this and then work my way through each of these and let it help me like a coach, as if I was sat down with a real coach, working through these different areas. So as I said, I didn't want to spend ages on this part though. The main thing I want to get to is the video content creator coach. So as I say, the reason I set this up initially was just for myself, that I wanted something to help me to come up with ideas, analyze data from my YouTube channel, from my main YouTube channel initially, and look at how to write better intros on my videos, look at how to analyze different information from my channel, and just come up with different ideas. So I'll share some of these bits with you here. So the first thing I want to do is show that because you can attach documents, one thing you can do is, if what you're working with, what you want it to analyze, is bigger than you're going to copy and paste perhaps into the message that you're about to ask, you can just attach a document with it on a document. So the first time I'm going to do this to show you is attaching a document of data from my YouTube channel performance. So I've got that from my Creator Studio, where I've just gone and selected to download the data as a CSV file. So I've done that and saved it and then uploaded it here. So here's a document of data from my YouTube channel performance. My channel is a Sleep Stories YouTube channel, so I'm telling it what my channel is that I'm wanting it to take a look at. Please can you take a look at this data and analyze it. My goal is to try to work out what content I should create over the next year to help grow my channel, where the videos I create have the best chance of gaining views and so gaining revenue. I know my all-night compilation videos and other 6-hour plus long videos are popular, but these are collections of the content I'm creating, so I can only create these infrequently. What I really need to know is what videos under 3 hours long I should create. Please can you analyze this data and share your detailed findings with me, letting me know what does well, what doesn't do so well, what I should focus on doing more of and focus on doing less of. Any ideas you have for how I can grow my channel based on this data, and anything else you think may be helpful for me to know or understand based on this information. So I know, having obviously looked at the information and seen it on YouTube and then downloaded it, that there's other questions I could ask as well. So for example, I could ask to identify what ideas would work best for having the best conversion rate. So obviously it shows how many views and how many subscribers I've gained from those views. So it could then say, write this type of, create this type of video. if that's what you want to achieve. I could say which ones gain me the most income, and so then it could, what ideas could I do that would gain me the most income, and then it could look at, which ones get what views versus what income. And it's not necessarily going to be that video has made the most money over this time period, and so that video means that you need to do more of them. It could be, or it's more likely to be, that video gained, say, 1,000 views and made X amount of income. That video gained 3,000 views and made the same level of income. So actually, if it was an income-based thing, then the one that gained less views, if I can find a way of making that gain more views, I'm going to gain more income per view than the other one. So I can get it to kind of explore that and come up with different data. But I'm just trying to keep this hopefully prompt. So let's see what it does with that. So it'll analyze it and hopefully then give me some kind of answer that's helpful. So obviously the idea of this is currently, this question I've started with is obviously based on a channel that's already getting views, that's already doing reasonably well. And so it's kind of, there's going to be stuff that if you're new to YouTube, this isn't going to necessarily apply just yet. So I'll just let it finish writing all that. There's a lot of things that will probably suggest that I probably already know in this situation, because I've obviously been doing this a very, very long time. So that's in relation to this very specific question. So focus on engaging narratives for shorter videos. Diversify things, collaborate, interactive content. So I found that it suggested that once before, and I found that a curious idea. So I do have an interactive GPT, the storyteller, that lets you interact and create interactive stories, but I hadn't yet found a way other than using end screens of doing that, but mainly because my stuff is focused on sleep. So it comes up with different ideas, some growth ideas and some conclusions. So I wanted to show you a few different bits and pieces. So the idea is that I'm initially just wanting to show you some of me using attachments for it to analyze the attachment. So now I've got it attached to the document of my latest YouTube videos. Can you analyze them and give me feedback in relation to what I can do, what I can learn, etc., etc. And then I've just explained that, for example, if most videos were getting, say, 4,000 views, and then there was a video with 25,000 views, and then back to 4,000 views, that would then be an outlier. So I'm explaining when I talk about outliers what they are, and some other bits and pieces. But let's just see what it does for this question. So yeah, so initially I was just having to share data that I could fit into the post I was giving to ChatGPT. But obviously, since being able to add attachments, or at least since me being aware that you can add attachments, I was then able to place what I wanted it to analyze in an attachment rather than trying to fit it all into one post, which it wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't be able to put that much data into a single post. The other one is that when I was having to put it into posts, if you wanted to do it over a number of posts, you would reach a point where it now it's got a larger window of what it can keep track of, but it would end up not being aware of what the first bits were that you posted, and that would then become a bit of a problem. Whereas now that's not really a problem unless you put huge amounts in. Most of my videos are around 3 hours long. Yeah, it is sleep stories, and a lot of them do have rain. Magical Pocket Watch was an outlier. And Magical Forest Temple, Magical Forest Cabin. So one thing there is 2 of the 3 of those are based in forests. All 3 obviously have magical in the title, and there's rain on the window and distant thunder. The Magical Forest Temple, I think, has rain as well. So that then just gives me some ideas around that. So that's attaching documents. So some things you can do, for example, are in relation to YouTube, you can do a title analysis. So these are the channel's most popular videos. The niche for all of these videos is, and then say what the niche is, so sleep stories or whatever. So not X, just say whatever the niche is. Please analyze these titles. Please identify patterns in the top performing videos in terms of title structure, video length, and topic. So you can ask that question and then just go to your YouTube channel, or say you don't have a YouTube channel yet, or you're very new to YouTube, you don't get enough views to make it where you think it's worthwhile really analyzing and using your data to base this on. What you can do is say, do this with 3, 4, 5 different channels in your niche, maybe different sized channels, some large channels, some smaller channels, but larger than yours, obviously, and active, ones that you see as they're doing quite well. And you can then just highlight all the videos, not all the videos, but say 30 videos, 40 videos, whatever, just a whole bunch of videos, just highlight them, drag and drop the cursor over them all so it's all blue, then copy it and paste it into here with, say, a comment like that. So this is kind of what it would end up looking like. This one, what I've just copied and pasted, actually isn't my most popular videos, so I'm not going to press enter or anything to analyze this right now because it's not what it says. I'll change that title in a minute, but what it comes up like is that you'd end up, what you copy and paste over has the title, it has the views, it has how long ago it was posted, it has the duration, and that's just from going to your video page on your channel or to another channel's video page. If you want to use them as, right, I want to look at their most popular videos, analyze them to look for patterns, so that when I'm creating my own videos, then I'll have an idea of what's working for other channels, because you do this with, say, 2, 3, 4, 5 other channels. What's working for other channels? Is there a pattern among lots of the more successful sleep stories channels, in my case, and that I can learn from? So I'm not going to use this specific question because it doesn't match the data I've just gone and got. So I've now put a question which matches the content for it to analyze. I have a sleep stories YouTube channel. I'm trying to plan for what types of stories and story ideas might work for 2024. Please can you help me to take a look at my recent videos, analyze the data and tell me what ideas might work well, etc. So then I've got, the reason there's all the gaps and everything is because this is just literally copy and pasted straight from YouTube, and obviously the images don't show, but the text does. And then if I press send, so you can do this as inline text like this. You could just as easily have dropped all of this into an attached document. This is a very similar question to what I did do as an attached document. So it'll end up hopefully giving me similar-ish answers. So it gives you different content ideas. It's again suggesting interactive storytelling. So if I didn't want something, I would say, for example, I can't do interactive storytelling. But it seems to think that's something that people would like. So actually, reading what it's describing there, where people can choose the direction of a story through comments or polls, adding an interactive layer to your content, yes, you want to gain engagement on your video. So that's coming up with a way of gaining engagement. So I could, for example, create a story and say, if you want to inform where this story goes next, and then do either a poll or have people comment where they would like the story to go next, so that when I create my next story, we'll pick up and that's where it will go. So I could do something like that and make it kind of interactive, as well as analyzing titles and the basic details you get when you have just copying the videos page on YouTube. You can go to the transcript section on videos that have a transcript, and you can do this on videos on other channels. You can do this on videos on your own channel. You can find the ones that seem to do quite well and copy their introductions to look at what kind of hooks they've got or whatever. So, and then you can write something like, here are 3, or another number. Obviously I've got here that depending on the length of them, you may need to post it over a few prompts. So that bit in brackets, obviously you're not sharing. That's just for you as the audience. So here are 3, or another number, depends on the length of the video introductions, etc. You may need to post this over a few prompts. Again, you can just do it and attach them. And if you do it over multiple prompts, just say, I'm going to share this over X number of prompts. Just respond, got it, when you've received this, so that it doesn't end up responding to each comment as if that's a question. So you share the transcripts. The transcripts can contain timings in minutes and seconds. You can also have transcripts, obviously, if you've just used the script itself. So say you're doing your own videos and you know your script, or if there's not a transcript, you might just do the script itself. So these are introductions of successful, say, sleep story videos. Please can you analyze these for any patterns which might make these sleep story video introductions successful? Are there any similarities between these? What is the structure of these introductions? Please can you list your findings? So then you can ask this to analyze those introductions, looking for hooks that those videos use, or things that might make it that those video introductions just seem to be doing very well, whether it's videos from your channel or successful videos from other channels, that you just want to get an idea of, why is that video, which seems very similar to mine, why is that one successful? You might even, I've not tried this, but you might even say you had video that just flopped and had a very quick drop off at the beginning of your video of views. You may say, this video didn't do well, here's the introduction. This video did very well, here's the introduction. Or here's the 3 worst performing videos, here's the 3 top performing videos. What are the differences between these 2 introductions? Why might the first 3 have failed to gain engagement and the second 3 gained more engagement, or something like that? So here is an example of doing that. So here are 3 transcripts. The transcripts contain timings in minutes and seconds of successful sleep stories videos. Please can you analyze these for any patterns which might make these sleep story videos introductions successful? Are there any similarities between these? What is the structure of these introductions? Please can you list your findings? And then there's a transcript initially with the timings, just taken straight from YouTube, just going to the YouTube video page, opening the description, scrolling to the bottom of the description. It will say follow along with transcript, if there's a transcript, and so you can then copy a chunk of the transcript. If there isn't a transcript, you won't see that. So that's the transcript down to where it went into the story. So it's just the introduction bit prior to me starting the story. Then there's a Cabin in the Woods transcript. So again, that's the same. That's the introduction down to where I start the story. And then there's one where it says without timestamps, as this is directly from the script rather than the transcript. And then that's, again, the introduction down to where the story starts. And then let's see what it does with that. So every time I've done this previously, I've always used transcripts that are 100% all the same, as in they've all got timings, etc. Whereas this time I've made sure to include one just because I'm curious if it will handle it perfectly fine. I'm curious to include one that's based on just the script and not a transcript. And these are all taken from videos that do very well on my channel. So, its analysis. Obviously, this is all to do with sleep stories. They all offer an invitation to relax. Mention closing the eyes, obviously. All talk about the process of falling asleep. They all use hypnotic language patterns. So it's recognizing, because I don't say anywhere in my question and in the transcript, it doesn't say anywhere that I'm doing hypnosis. So the Naira Bloomfield story, hey dreamers, imagine relaxing in bed as you prepare to embrace the transformative power of sleep, etc, 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 etc. No hypnosis is mentioned here. And then it goes on. Cabin in the Woods. Let's see if hypnosis is mentioned. Nope, no hypnosis mentioned there. Magical cabin in a rainy forest. Welcome to the Slumberland Sleep Story. I'll be your guide as you trek through a forest just as it begins to rain. You find sanctuary in the cabin, etc., etc. And no hypnosis. I don't mention that I'm doing hypnosis there. So I am doing hypnosis. That's 100% correct. But I don't. None of this says I'm doing hypnosis. And you've seen what I've been posting right from the beginning of this thread. Nothing here, right from the beginning, is saying I'm doing hypnosis, but it is recognizing, which is quite good. I'm focusing on it because I'm actually impressed that it's picked up on the fact that there's hypnosis going on. But I am doing hypnosis. So hypnotic language patterns, phrases like, you don't know whether you'll drift deeper asleep to the sound of my voice or the space between my words, is a double bind. So yeah, so it's recognizing that I'm using hypnosis, giving me some ideas for structuring it and transitioning, etc. So something else you can do is analyze YouTube video comments. So you can say what your niche is. So it's always important to let it know what your niche is, so that it has an idea of, when it's giving you answers, what sector, what kind of area it's giving you answers in. So the niche is sleep stories. Please analyze these YouTube video comments to identify patterns to uncover what people most like about the video, to try to identify why they choose to watch the video, and what people dislike about the video, areas of improvement, and content ideas and marketing tips. So I'm not going to dive into this right now with people's comments, but what you can do is go to your various videos, say your popular videos, go to your popular videos, copy all the comments and paste all the comments in here. Again, if there's too many comments, add them to a document and attach them, and then let it analyze those comments. You can go to other channels' videos, say videos that you think, I want to know why people are watching, why did that video of that channel take off? There's 300 comments, let's go and grab a whole bunch of those comments, and then let's analyze that and see what it says. And so then you can see what people liked and disliked about that popular video. You can do the same with more unpopular videos. You can analyze the comments, if there's enough comments on the video, to find out what it was that people seemed to dislike that meant they clicked off the video, they didn't really engage with it. So there's two ways that I kind of ask this. One is this way you can see here. The other way is this way you can see here. So the niche is sleep stories. Please process the provided YouTube comments. Identify patterns and make suggestions and recommendations based on these patterns about what I should consider for making successful videos, as well as developing 5 short sample introduction scripts which I could say about the video the viewer has clicked on that work as a hook, demonstrating that the video meets their needs. So if there's something that keeps cropping up in a lot of the comments, like say the pace of what I'm doing, or a specific element, like people referring to it using certain words. So if most of your audience seem to use specific keywords in their way of talking about your videos, then you could say, have that keyword near the beginning of your introduction, so that very quickly, within 2-3 seconds, you're saying the keywords that are the key keywords that people who like your videos end up liking, so that hopefully people like those people who maybe click off, who would think like that, but they click off because they don't give enough time to get to discover that for themselves. You've said that up front, and they then hang around for it. So that's the sort of two ways I ask about analysing the comments. And then obviously you can also just ask, please help me develop hook points for my YouTube video introduction. And then work with ChatGPT, work with the video content creator coach to do that. So let's just to kind of end. So to just kind of end, let's go through seeing what we can do. We'll do a new chat. So please can you help me develop my latest YouTube video? Right, let's start there. Let's be really simple. So as with before, it asks you some questions. And so a large part of the video content creator coach is that it's been designed to hopefully help you to develop the idea of storytelling throughout your video, as well as focus on hooks and hook points and analyzing current video data. So I've shown you all the stuff about analyzing stuff that you've already got, but what when you want to just create something from scratch? So let's see. Let's try and come up with an idea for the Tortoise channel. I post about hypnosis, autism, and let's say psychology. My latest video is going to be about some research on how perception of time influences physical healing. My target audience are psychological therapists, like counsellors, coaches, hypnotherapists, psychotherapists, etc. Being autistic, I seem to process time where a long period of time seems to pass, but I experience it as being a very short period of time. So I would like to perhaps incorporate this into a story in the video. I will be on camera and will present calmly and relaxed with minimal transitions. Here is an article about what I will be discussing in my video. So let's see what it does with that information. So this is with minimal additional prompting, and the article that I've shared isn't the article I initially read this in, it's just one I quickly Googled and one of the first results. So I am going to try something in a second. I asked ChatGPT, not the video content creator coach, but I asked ChatGPT the other day, because I usually just, if I want to use something again, I reshare it. And I said, so I was reattaching something. I said, I'm reattaching it this time, but in the future, for my reference, for my learning, are you able to refer back to things like attachments or links or anything that have been shared previously in the chat, obviously within its window of what it can respond to and read? And it said yes, I don't have to reattach things again. So I'm going to initially, I've got the link there if I want to grab it, but I'm going to initially ask it in a moment to look at that link. So just so far, it's given me very quickly a title idea. So what I would ordinarily do is I wouldn't just take the first title idea as being the thing I'm going to use. I would explore it. I'd probably ask it to give me, say, 25 different title ideas. I would then find the bits I like across those ideas for things like the length of title, whether it sounds compelling to a human being or not, because that's the important thing. It's not about keywords. So an important thing on YouTube is that unless you're trying to create content that's very search heavy, like how do I bake a cake containing jelly or something like that, then you want it to be something that gains clicks because people see the title and think, I want to know what that video is about. So that's just an important kind of point, that it isn't just about SEO and trying to get your videos to list in search results. It's about trying to get it so that when you're recommended as additional recommended videos in people's feeds, that people see your video title and thumbnail and think, I'm curious about that, I want to click it. So it's given me a title idea. For now, I'm not going to change any of this. I'm just showing you that this is how it kind of works if you just start from scratch and you're trying to develop your ideas. So it's given me a title idea. the mind's clock, how time perception can accelerate healing. It might be that by the time you've done the script and you've gone through all the other stages, other ideas may come out as well. But the general rule for YouTube content creation is to focus usually on trying to, so you'll have an idea of exactly what you're trying to make a video about, and or potentially make a video about. So you'll then come up with, okay, how can I package that? What would be a title and thumbnail that if someone saw it, they'd think, I need to know what that's about. I'm going to click it. And if you can't come up with something based on the idea you're wanting to make a video about, then don't make that video right now. Just make a different video. You may come back to it. You may have some kind of an epiphany and know what to do it about next time, a future date. But for now, don't do that. Just move on. So you want to come up with the title, and when you get a compelling title, you then know, because you've now found the compelling title, which could be an element of something to do with what's going to be covered, you can then make sure that you deliver on that title. So if you do the title first and the thumbnail first, you can then make sure that the content delivers on the title and thumbnail and shape the content around delivering on the title and thumbnail, rather than making the content, doing a script, recording a script and everything, and then thinking, what title and thumbnail can I do? But then you come up with this wonderful idea for a title and thumbnail, but it doesn't actually match the content, how it's presented in the video. So you may cover that stuff, but it just doesn't match and it doesn't touch on it quick enough in the video or whatever. So you want to make sure you've got your title first and then you do the content second. So yeah, start with a compelling question. Did you know that the way we perceive time can actually influence how our bodies heal, how our body heals? So this chat video content creator may come up with different things in a minute when I ask it to look at the actual study. So main content, presentation style. So would you like assistance in drafting a more detailed script? Yes, please. Can you please can you take a look at the link I provided to the article and develop ideas that a title, thumbnail, hooks, and a story to weave the video together. Oh, too many O's. Together. Please can take a look at the link I provided to the article and develop ideas that a title, thumbnail, hooks and stories to weave the video together can be created from, and ideas and an initial outline of a script that will be compelling and encourage curiosity and keep viewers engaged and watching, and perhaps ideas that would encourage viewers to comment. So, as I've sort of mentioned previously, the various GPTs and the video content creator coach here, it's about treating it as if it's a coach, as if you're working with someone. So I'm treating this as if I'm working kind of with someone the other side of the screen, and so this is another human being who I'm chatting with, who's a coach, who's, you know, I'm perhaps paying for their time, and we're engaging in a coaching session. So what it's creating a video around here for me is actually something that I do plan on creating a video for. We'll just see what it comes up with. And ordinarily, I obviously wouldn't be stood in front of a camera doing this, and so I would take my time to go through stages, go through little bits, and I'd really analyze what it's suggesting to me, and I would have read in detail all the information myself before talking to it and asking questions. So let's just see what it's come up with here. So it's analysed this article. As I say, I've not actually read the Neuroscience News article. I read a different article about the research. So what I'm obviously going to base my final video on will be the actual research paper, if I can find the research paper, rather than an article about the research paper. And I'll probably look and see if there's other research papers as well. So, time healing, how perception speeds up recovery. So there's already a more catchy kind of title. I will check and make sure, so before I did anything, I would check and make sure that that title isn't being used somewhere else, and that that isn't, especially not about this topic, and that that isn't, for example, the Neuroscience News article's headline, that it's just taken. So I would check that out, and again, I'd probably get it to suggest and work with me to look at other ideas as well. An image combining a clock and a healing wound. I don't quite know how I would do the healing wound part over a clock, but I have an idea of that. We seem to be on the same page of how that might work. What if the way you perceive time could actually influence your body's ability to heal? So yeah, that's quite a good little hook to start with. And then you could follow that up maybe with, did you know that some people heal faster? Or have you ever noticed how some people seem to get over their illnesses and injuries faster than others? So yeah, you can ask a few little questions like that. Share my experience of time perception due to autism, connecting it to the study's findings. Discuss the key findings from the study, emphasising the crucial role of perceived time in the healing process, regardless of the actual time that's elapsed. Explain the experience methodology, including the slow time, normal time, and fast time conditions, and how these affected wound healing. Highlight the broader implications of this research for understanding the mind-body connection and its impact on health. Presentation style, I've already kind of said. Pose questions. How do you think this research could change therapeutic practices? Or have you observed similar effects of time perception in your practice? Obviously, as someone who does hypnosis, I will probably draw in, and I'd probably explore it with chat here first, about the idea of using hypnosis to alter perception of time, and how that perhaps might be able to help, and encourage viewers to share their thoughts. So the basic script, I asked it just for a basic script outline initially. Present the intriguing fact about time perception and healing, share your experience with autism and time perception, explain the research methodology and finding, discuss how this could influence therapeutic practice, encourage viewers to comment with their thoughts and experiences, and do a call to action. So this again is, you can go into a lot more detail with the video content creator coach. This is just the very beginning of what you can do with it. But this is kind of how it works, that you can very quickly jump straight in to forming something. So I asked for an outline, so now I could jump into expanding on the script. I could keep asking it to refer back to the findings as it's writing the script, and ask it to summarize the results of the findings, etc. So there's lots of different things I could do for this, but this is just the start. So these videos end up being significantly longer than I had hoped it would be. So hopefully, if you're still around now, the video content creator coach and the other two GPTs that I've shown you here today are all available in the GPTstore. So if you've got a premium account with ChatGPT, then you can access these and use them, and hopefully you find them helpful. I personally think the video content creator coach is a very helpful tool, and definitely when you get into more detail on it, its way of helping you with storytelling, with developing hooks, and with kind of gaining that engagement is all very good. And something else you can do, obviously, is because of it having being able to create images within ChatGPT, it means that when it comes to wherever it was, the thumbnail, you can even ask it to give you a widescreen. So you specify that you want it widescreen, give you a widescreen YouTube thumbnail design based on what you've been talking about and what it recommended. And so you're not going to use that necessarily as your final thumbnail, but what you can do is then have that as kind of some ideas and some templates for thumbnails that you could use, just so you can get a visual idea of what it might look like if it can come up with something suitable. So I personally find that DALL-E, I don't find it so good for image creation. I predominantly use Leonardo AI for all of my image creation, but it is good to help to come up with the prompts for the images that you end up seeing, and to just get some ideas and some representation that you can start working with. So hopefully this has been helpful and interesting, and if you are interested in the stuff I normally cover on my channel, feel free to check that out. It's all about, it's all for coaches and therapists, people who work with people. And it's all focused around hypnosis, psychotherapy, psychology, and autism, where I share my experiences of being autistic. So thank you for sticking around and watching this far.